this ombre wall today, and I'm going to show you how we did it. So what you're not seeing, and I'm going to try, actually what will be easier just for filming wise, go back on we're going to post a picture of what this thing looks like, and then I'll move the camera closer and we'll get a better up close look at this. But we're creating an ombre wall, and I did this a couple days ago to half the wall, so that we can show you what it's actually going to look like, and it's gorgeous. I absolutely loved how it turned out, and so I wanted to share with you how you can create your own ombre wall. So what you're going to need is a water bottle, and I'm going to tell you the colors that I use. I just went and got a latex paint from Lowe's. So you go to any home improvement store, pick your colors out. You're going to want 3 shades. I probably should back all the way up. Thank you guys for getting on. Look at all of you. Okay, if you're just joining and you're new to Reclaim Warehouse, my name is Tabitha, and I have 2 fantastic stores called Reclaim Warehouse. If you live close by, they're located in Moore and in Norman. If you are not close to our area, but you want to still partake in the Reclaim Warehouse love, you can check us out online at reclaimwarehouse.com. And every Wednesday, we're here at 1 o'clock just sharing something fun and something that you can use to incorporate in your own homes, some design inspiration, some DIYs, some crafting projects. And so we're just hoping to inspire and share and get together in this space every Wednesday. So again, what we're doing today is an ombre wall. And I'm going to see if I can get you closer where you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. So top to bottom, you see how I have picked 3 colors of turquoise here, and we're going to blend them. So there's up to the top, down to the bottom. And see if I can get this back right where it goes so that you are able to watch well. Let's fix this just a little bit. Thank you guys for getting on here. Wow, look at Instagram. You guys are awesome. Okay, so it's really pretty easy. It wasn't that hard. It really didn't take me that long. And again, this is just easy tools that you can get at any home improvement store. So what I've got, I don't know, it's gonna be a little bit weird, but paint roller. You're gonna want, I'm doing mine in 3 colors. You can do multiple, but what we have here that you've seen is 3 colors. Paint roller, you're gonna want 1 for each color. I have 2 paint brushes here. Really only 1 is necessary, but I have 2, make it a little bit easier. And then my 3 paint colors, the paint that I chose to use was it's a coloring by Sherwin-Williams, but I did get this at Lowe's. And this is my bottom color, which was called Saurian Teal. And so it is a great, let's see if you can get it up closer of that. It's a deeper turquoise. Any latex paint, I chose interior satin because I wanted a little bit of a sheen. My next color up, a tip on this, just get your family swatch. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get a family swatch of colors and it shows you dark to light and they're already kind of an ombre effect. So you can pick out maybe your top color and then your middle color and your bottom color if it's a swatch of 5, and you're just gonna take those in-betweens and you're gonna blend. So that's kind of what I've done here. This was a swatch of, I think it was 5 actually, now that I'm saying that, except for I chose to do white as my top because the rest of this room is getting painted white, and I wanted my white at the top to blend with my white on the ceilings. So my next color up is called Cloud Burst. So it looks like this. Can you see that, or is the brightness, let me just turn this down a smidge for you guys. There we go, now you can see me. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then my white that is on the top is pure white. And it's the white that I use most often in our homes, in cabinetry. If I need a good white, pure white is what I normally use. If I want just a subtle hint of an off white, but it's still really a pure white, I use Snowbound. You're also gonna need a water bottle. And I like to get on paint trays, I don't like to clean, so I like to get my here inserts here. You can also not buy those, and you could use tinfoil or saran wrap or a Walmart sack, something like that, and just put it over your pan, and that way cleanup is really easy. You're just gonna remove this, toss it. So to get started here, I went ahead, I have taped the bottom. Facebook, you can't really see that real well, but I have taped the bottom, and I've gone ahead and cut in my edges on the ceiling and this left side with the white, so that way I can go ahead and cut in cleanly on my edge and not feel like when I come back and paint this wall that is touching white, I'm not going to get that on my accent wall that I've spent all the time to make pretty. So there we go. We can get started, and this actually isn't going to take that long. So stick it out. I'll try to paint as fast as I can so that you guys aren't just on here. Need something to open my paint. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna start at the bottom, working with the darker color first. I mean, you can do your, do I disappear? I do. Let me tilt this. Okay, there we go. Starting with the darker color first. Now you could put the darker color on the top or the bottom. It doesn't really matter. I chose the bottom just simply because my ceiling in this room is going to be white. If you're wondering what room I'm in, this is my daughter's room, and she recently turned 13, so she needed a teenager room, and I thought this is going to be a fun wall. We're going to redo her room in a boho type decor, and I will share that with you as soon as we get that rolling. We basically just kind of started with this accent wall and repainting. Now her walls before were Comfort Gray by Sherwin-Williams, which is a great gray color. It kind of pulls a little bit of a seagrassy blue, but it's a really good kind of a neutral gray. And I'll go through and show you that here in a little bit. Actually, you can kind of see it right here. So where the wall, you can see it. This is what the wall was. Okay, so this is it next to a white. So next to white, you can really tell the darker coloring, but when you have it in a big space, it's not, it doesn't feel that dark. So, okay. We're gonna cut in around this bottom real quick. Another tip on taping would be if you ever have problems when you're taping and that paint is seeping up underneath, and you can get it is an acrylic caulking, and after you put your tape here, you would just go back with your caulk line, run a very small one on top of your tape, and then run your finger across that, let that dry, and that's gonna seal in your space between your tape and your wall. So then you're gonna go ahead and paint, and when you pull that up, you're gonna have a nice crisp line, and you're not gonna have any seeping up underneath. I've always found that real helpful because that's really, really aggravating when you've spent all the time to tape and you go and pull it off and you still have a mess there. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and roll this on, and for sake of time, I'm not gonna worry too much about just doing my edges and all that, just so you guys can get the gist of how easy this is and not have to watch me do the tedious parts. So I'm gonna do this bottom part fairly solid. maybe just a little bit more up. Now I broke my wall into thirds since we do have 3 colors. And you're gonna wanna leave a good 2 foot, maybe more like 18-inch space between your bottom color and your middle color here. So this looks like it's kind of matching the height of the side I've already done. If you guys have questions as I'm doing this, go ahead and throw them up and we'll go ahead and answer them on here as I'm painting. Okay. Hey Jacob, will you give me the other roller right there? Thanks. Colors a little closer up. Here we go. Watch, I'm gonna drip it on the drip it on the carpet, which I did last week when I was painting white. Okay. Okay, again, so we're gonna leave about 18 inches in between and start this next color. I can tell you, as my kids have gotten older, you know, when they were babies, I did the whole, like, obviously I like to decorate, and I, you know, the themed nurseries and kids' room was really big when my kids were little, and so I was all about it, and they always had the themed rooms, and out of 4 kids, that's a lot of themes, but now, as they've gotten older, I wish that I would have just, like, stuck with a great neutral, something that they could grow into. Not that, you know, themes aren't awesome and everything, they are. But I don't know, just as they've gotten older, I kind of look back and, I don't know, I think I wish I would have done something that just kind of grew with them. So now you can still see, yeah, the bottom here. And I'll give you a much closer up look here in a minute, but I just kind of want to show you here, your darker pigment is always going to take over your lighter. So that is why I didn't go quite as far up, because we can always blend this up. You can't always necessarily make something lighter without just adding a whole bunch more paint and a whole bunch more paint. So here we go. I'm going to get my dark, wider brush that I started with. And here's my darker paint.
Somebody's asking, do you have to paint more than one coat?
You know what, with this paint, okay, so that was a great question. The question was, do you have to paint more than one coat? And probably depends on the colors that you choose. This particular paint, which was the Showcase at Lowe's, that is colored by Sherwin-Williams, if that makes sense. It's covered really, really well. And so I did not. This was, what I've done here was only one coat. Super easy. And this is a pretty dark color, so I would not think so. Maybe if you were gonna go with a really deep plum or something like that. Okay, I'm just brushing this a little bit higher up only because I want to have wet paint here as I start to blend going higher. Okay, I am taking the exact same brush that I'm using for this dark color and grabbing just a little bit of the lighter color with the same brush here. So I don't know if you can see that really well from there, but they're both kind of mixed on here. And I'm just gonna start slowly bringing that in. I don't know, do I need to bring that the camera closer maybe? I'm not sure if they're gonna be able to see the two colors blend together. Okay, so I'm literally just getting both colors of paint going right here and starting to work it up. Now you want to do long horizontal, oh there we go, that looks great. Long horizontal strokes here. And slowly as you get this darker color working, let it kind of blend right up. And it's okay, so you just noticed how right here it was lighter and it kind of went back to dark. That's totally fine. That's gonna give you that overall gradual fade here. I think this is something that just looks more intimidating than it really is. If you really think about it, I mean, you really can't mess this up. You are mixing paint colors until you just feel like the blend looks really well. And you can always just go right back over it with the other color and keep on adding that back in. Now, what I have the water bottle here for is if you're starting to notice there's an area you want to blend more and it's starting to dry. And when it starts to dry, you get these strokes that kind of almost look textured, and that's not what you're going for. We're going for a very creamy and like just solid, like the ocean almost. Like it just, you want it to completely flow. There be no stopping points in your brush. That's the overall goal here. So what you can do is get your water if you're starting to get some of those areas and go ahead and mist that on your wall and re-wet that paint. And then just start again. So see how I brought some of that down right here? That's completely fine. I do want to like, I don't know if that might show you well. I have a little bit of those textured marks right down through here. We don't want that. We want it to all blend. Yeah, that is looking good. And we need to definitely pull it up to match our other side here. Let me move this ladder so you can maybe see. We want to blend this all the way across the wall. Now the lighter you go on the paint colors, actually the more difficult, because you just, if you grab just a little bit of that darker pigmented paint and you're mixing it in, it's really easy to just keep fading and fading further and further than you want to go. So when we get up here to the white, I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. And instead of, oh shoot, I just got that on the wall. Instead of going all the way to the side so you guys don't have to watch me do that whole entire area, I'll just keep going up right here. So that looks pretty consistent with next door. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, so let's just keep pulling this up some, but we want this to just keep getting lighter. So I started with a little bit of the dark on my brush, but I'm gonna come back and grab some of this lighter and just keep working that up the wall. I think long strokes are probably the key with this. Okay, that looks good. Can you guys see? Am I covering all up? Okay. Let's get that a little bit wet. This is just regular water, nothing special. And then we're pretty close to working that top part now. So let's just grab a little bit of the lighter and blend this in. Again, just make sure you just do long sweeping strokes and keep that paint wet so you don't end up with the textured spots. Oh, I'm like leaving Instagram over here. Sorry guys. Whoops, okay. Also important, make sure that the paint that you are working with stays wet. You want to make sure that it stays almost like butter. You're just buttering the wall, folks. Okay, I have a little bit of drips right here. I think that looks awesome. So we're going to start working on the top portion now. And like I said, just make sure that you're going to leave that really large gap here because we're going to just start pulling the blue higher up. And then once we reach a certain point, I'm going to start grabbing my white paint and kind of just blending those in. But it's just real tricky when you get to a white because it's very easy to carry that slow fade all the way to the top, which is not the goal here. Okay, get my ladder. Go ahead and put this up here. Actually, I need a little bit more paint. If you guys try this at home, share with us. We would love to see the progress that you guys make in your own home. So if this is something that you do try, absolutely, however you want to do it. You could come back to this feed, post a picture here. We would absolutely love, love, love to see it and share it. Okay, so I've got this area right here ready with some wet paint. I do need some white. And we're just gonna start right here where the blue is. We are using the same brush, and start blending that white in there. Now see, the white's gonna disappear real quick. Now I did start, look how much further down I did. So we're gonna have to make that darker. Just trying to match what's right next door here. So I just need to go just a little bit higher up. I got a little bit more of that blue color on there. Allergies are getting me. My nose is sniffling. Okay, there we go. Now we're a little bit closer. So we're gonna get more of that white. Pull that white through. Now see how that white disappears real quick. So what will be good here, since I have my brush loaded with that blue paint, is to go ahead and find some drywall and get rid of some of it. Okay, and grab some more of that white. Start pulling it down. Get rid of that blue, grab some more white. I'm gonna have to come over here and get rid of that blue again. Okay, get some more white. So I'm going to come down here, grab my clean brush and some more white paint. And start at the top. And blend her down. Okay, so do you see how that kind of clears that up? And now we've kind of got this matching going across, and we're really looking good, going white to fading and blending to now the blue, and it's blending into the dark. So we're gonna kind of pull that across a little bit more. Long sweeping strokes. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my other brush now because I want to save this one for the white going across the top. We are going to need to do some blending right here in this area, so I can go ahead and do that in case maybe that's an area if you choose to do yours in stages, which is fine. I don't know that I necessarily think it's probably easier. It'd probably be easier to go ahead and do all of one color across the bottom, then go ahead and do all of the next one and so on. But if you do find yourself needing to do that, go ahead and just re-wet it and then sweep it across. Wet that wall a little bit. Grab some of my white paint. Start at the top. Grab a little bit of blue and pull it up. we go. I think we've got the idea. Okay, I'm gonna get you guys closer. I now have paint all over my hands. Let's move this out of the way. Here is this view, a little bit closer up. And you're going all the way down to the dark, the bottom. I'll make sure to take some pictures of this and post it, and so that way, oh, that's good, that works. If you do have other questions, just make sure you post them on here, and I'll go back through and make sure to answer those for you. And yeah, so thank you so much. You guys watching is such encouragement. I cannot tell you how encouraging that is to us. We put a lot of effort into trying to find things that you guys are gonna love and hopefully try. We would love to know if you do try them. If you are looking for other tutorials that we do have a YouTube channel now, and we're gonna be putting other things on our YouTube channel that you won't necessarily be able to find here on live. So that we would really, really appreciate it if you go to our YouTube channel and subscribe and turn your notifications on there. But cannot tell you from the bottom of my heart how much I appreciate you guys being on here. It means so much to us, and I would love if you also could visit Reclaim Warehouse. We'll see you there, and we're here every Wednesday at 1 o'clock.